Hi guys and welcome back. My name is Amanda, also known as Mermaid Hair Donut Care, like donut. We're here today because I have been inspired. As per usual, it's by my friend Caitlin from Caitlin House Makeup, which I know she was inspired from Annette's Makeup Corner, and this is going to be my first attempt at a makeup diary entry. So basically, I've never watched Annette do her diary entries, so I'm only going off of what I've seen Caitlin do. But she takes like 7 days. I don't think they're consecutive. I don't know if they're consecutive. Mine are not going to be consecutive, but it's going to be 7 days of makeup looks. Mostly I'm gonna stick to the looks that I'm not doing for YouTube. So it's gonna be most of the looks that I do on a daily basis for like TikTok, Instagram, which are usually one and the same. And I'm gonna go through and show you what makeup products I actually used for each look. Currently, this is look number 1, so I will be going through what I did to get this look, which I realize now is rather dramatic on the blush, but I'm not going anywhere, so I don't mind. Even if I was, I've gone to work with this much blush because blush is fun. Okay, anyway, I hope that sounds interesting to you because it was super interesting to me to see what someone actually uses like for every single look, not just like the eyeshadow, because that's generally what I go through on my TikTok is I just do a little transition and I go from like no makeup to like a face full of makeup. So I love to actually like show you guys what I'm using more recently, and then like I like to switch things up day to day, and I also have products that I'm trying to pan, so I love the opportunity to go through that with you, and hopefully you find it interesting and follow along. So stay tuned. Alright guys, as you just watched, this is day number 1, look number 1. So what I do when I do my makeup is all the products that I use for that day go into one of these little containers here. So I am going to go through pretty much in the steps that I use them in and go through each product that I use. So I actually didn't use a primer today. Today I was testing something different to see how it worked for me. So I have the foundation that I'm wearing. I actually really like. It's the Ulta moisturizing foundation stick, but my shade is a little too light, and I haven't really gone through their like catalog of shades to see if they have one that's like slightly darker, but it's the shade light neutral, and it is definitely, I mean, it looks good. I feel like it works for me. But when I put it on, it is rather light. So I decided that I was going to try it on top of the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. This is shade 1, but it's not my perfect shade, but like I wouldn't be lighter and I'm definitely not darker. So I was trying to use this as more of like a primer and like a little, to be a little glowy. I think it came out decent. I like the way my foundation looks. I did just do this makeup, so keep that in mind as well, because I feel like that makes a huge difference. I don't know how it actually is gonna sit for a longer period of time. I'm not 100% sure. Then I haven't used this product since I tested it the first time, like right after I bought it, but I used the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid or Beauty Wand, the contour one. This is the shade Light Medium. I think it looks good, and I liked it. I'll probably try to get more use out of that in the near future because I do like to switch up like the products I use. I have been using these two together as far as concealers go, like quite often. It's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Multi-Use Concealer. This is like the pink one. I put this on first to try and like brighten up, but this is actually a pretty bright concealer for me. This is the Fenty Pro Filt'r. What's it actually called? Instant Retouch Concealer. This is shade 170. I don't know if that helps anyone. It doesn't say like whether it's like a neutral, and I bought it a while ago before I actually found out what my like skin type, tone, whatever was. So I'm not sure if that's actually helpful. All right, now as far as liquid blush, I use the P. Louise, the cheek of it. This is the shade Legally Lavender. It is rather light, and it does show up rather light on my skin, but I knew I was going for like a purpley pinky blush, so I just used that one today. Let's see. Great, I'll go into powder products now. So I've been using the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in the shade Forever Sunkissed. This I've been using as my bronzer, and I actually really like it, so I'm going to keep using it. This is also a product that I'm trying to pan currently, so I have been using it quite frequently. I have also been using the Juicy Cheeks palette from Blend Bunny quite often. I did say that I was trying to pan the shade Raw, which is like my everyday go-to shade, but today I used the shade Sticky Sweet, which is this like bright, fun, like purpley shade, and it looks like super pink on my skin tone, which I'm not mad about. I love that palette though. That's probably my favorite like palette other than the other Blend Bunny cheek palette, which is the Bare Cheeks. I love those blushes. They're so pigmented. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to pan them because they're so pigmented that I use barely any and get a whole lot of payoff. Okay, so for my setting powder, I use the Elli Beauty Baked Translucent Setting Powder. I use this pretty much every single day, other than when I'm like testing out a different one, but I hardly do that. So that is like my go-to. And then I today used my Silk Naturals highlighter in the shade Jelly Bean. It is the purple out of like their rainbow set of highlighters. I do absolutely love all 5 that are in the set, but I went for the purple one today. Let's see. I guess that was it for the face. I just realized that I did not use a setting spray. But like I said, I'm not going anywhere today, or right now, since I already worked this morning. I have like a hair on my face or something. Something was itching me. I also lied. So for my brows, I count my brows as my face. For my brows, I am trying to use the rest of them. I have the Goof Proof brow pencil in the shade 3.5, and I have the Gimme Brow, which I don't know if this is like a fiber, like a brow, like mascara almost. I think it might be, but as you can see, mine is like pretty well loved and it's all rubbed off. So sorry about that. But this is the shade 4. And then moving on to eyes, I use the Milani eyeshadow primer. I actually really like this eyeshadow primer, and I'm definitely close to finishing it. So I didn't add this to my like panning, but I think I'm going to because I'm just going to use the rest of it. Then for eyeshadow palette, I use the Odin's Eye Hella palette, which is the original collab with Angelica Nyqvist. Love this color story. I was definitely going for like a yellow, green, purple vibe. I used the shades Underworld, Venom, Ouroboros, I don't know how to say that, Soot, River, and Rebirth were the shades that I used. Soot was on my under eye, Rebirth was in my inner corner, in my crease was Ouroboros and Underworld, and then Venom was on my outer lid, and then River was my inner lid. So I also used Underworld to blend out Soot in my lower lash line. I've never actually like gone through and said exactly how I did my eyeshadow. That was a little like nerve-wracking. I'm like, what exactly did I do again? Because I just go for it. When I do my makeup, I just go. Unless I'm recording it, like, I don't really go through the steps so often. But that's something I like to know, how other people do their looks. And sometimes just a little explanation like that can make a world of difference. So for my eyeliner, my black eyeliner is Elli Beauty, the waterproof eyeliner pen in the shade Onyx, which is the black, is what I use for my wing mostly every day. Then for my waterline is Elli Beauty. This is the waterproof eye pencil in the shade Cedar. I think it's Cedar. Now I can't remember. I'm going to have to look that up. All right, I wanted to make sure I got it right. It's Fern. That is a green. Cedar is the brown. Both of mine have no stickers on them anymore because I use them and they have fallen off. Then we have the same thing, the Elli Beauty waterproof eyeliner, gel eyeliner pencil in the shade Raven. Mine is super, super teeny because I use it every single day, almost, for the most part. I use this to tightline my eyes. And then for mascara, I use the Benefit They're Real mascara. I like it. It's actually pretty nice. I have been finding recently that I like drugstore mascaras sometimes better. This one can be like, when I'm applying it, it can get a little flaky, and then I start to have like little black spots that I have to like wipe off, but I have to be careful not to like wipe them. I have to like use my little spoolie and like scrape them just in case, because I'm not playing those games with like smudged mascara all over my face after I've just completed an entire makeup look, because been there, done that. Not doing it again. It's the worst. It is the absolute worst. Okay, and then last but not least, I have the Blend Bunny Juicy Lips, or Juice. What? Why is this not? Bring the Juice lip oil in the shade Ripe. Yeah, the shade Ripe. I love the way this looks on my lips. I love the way this looks with my blush and with the eye look. I'm super here for it. I love it. Okay, so that is everything I used for this eye look. Stay tuned because there's going to be 6 more, seeing as this is number 1. There's going to be 6 more entries. I will try to be better about doing this quickly and more like rapid fire, but I would love if you had any questions to just let me know. So stay tuned. Day number 2 should be coming up in just 2 seconds. Hi guys, welcome back. This is day 2 diary entry. I did say that I would try to make today a little bit faster. I want to preface by saying I have this all the way up to my neck right now because I was giving a foundation a second chance and it is absolutely not the right shade for me. So trying to like hide the evidence. But let's get started. I have my fun little container full of all of the products that I used for this look today. I'm going to try to run through them a little faster than I did yesterday. So starting with primer, I use this Fourth Ray Beauty Hello Sunshine Brightening Priming Moisturizer. It's more of just like a moisturizer to me. I don't feel like it actually like is tacky or keeps the foundation on specifically, but it's also a moisturizer, so I feel like I'm kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone kind of deal. All right, this is the Smashbox Always On Skin Balancing Foundation. So I have it in the shade L10N. So I was trying to give it a second chance because I just started using a beauty blender to like put all my foundation on, and I like the way it looks better like finish wise when I use a beauty blender. So I was trying this one again with that technique of applying it, but it's just not the right shade as I am a neutral like skin tone. I'm thinking it may just be too dark because it does look like a little almost yellow, but I mean, I will I tan very easily in the summer, so I'm hoping that I can try this again in the summer and it will work. If not, then I'll give up on it. Okay, so moving on to liquid bronzer, I have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand Contour. This is the shade Light Medium. I did apply too much of this today. So not only was my foundation a little too dark, but I also was like heavy-handed with the liquid contour bronzer, whatever you want to call it. So there's that. We have the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Multi Concealer. This is the pink one. I use it for brightening. It is shade 160. Same as yesterday. Again, same as yesterday. The Fenty Pro Filt'r Concealer, shade 170. Let's see. What else did I use? Liquid blush. I was going to say liquid cheek. That too. Liquid blush is the Cheek of It by P. Louise. This is the shade Raspberry Ribbon. I like this shade because I like a very like mauvey, dusty, rosy color in lip, in cheek, in all of that. That's just kind of like my go-to shade. Moving on, that is everything for oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? Liquid products? Not liquid. Cream products? Yeah, sure, that. My brain is not functioning today. I've had a very long, rough day so far. I have the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in the shade Forever Sunkissed. This is what I use as my bronzer. I actually really like it, and I'm trying to pan it, so I'm sure I've actually already said that. But I said it again. As far as powder blush, I use the shade Raw, which I am also trying to pan, which is this is the Juicy Cheeks palette from Blend Bunny. This shade right here, Raw, is what I used today. Again, that like rosy mauve color. Love, love, love. As far as highlighter, the Ofra Rodeo Drive highlighter, I am trying to pan this one as well. I do have like a decent little dip in there, if you can see. One of my absolute favorite highlighters, so I'm trying to get some use out of that. I did set with the Elli Beauty Baked Translucent Setting Powder. And then let's see what else. We're about to get into eyes. So we have the brows. I just did something kind of really natural and like left them kind of fluffy. I just used this NYX brow glue. I think it's the tinted brow glue, is to be more specific, medium brown. I don't use this very often, so I was just trying to like try something out and see how it worked. As far as eyeshadow primer, the Urban Decay Primer Potion. This was gifted. I did forget to say that the Smashbox Always On foundation was also something that was gifted to me. I try to be very transparent about those kinds of things. All right, as far as eyeshadows, I used the P. Louise World Full of Wonder palette. This is an entirely monochromatic purple palette. We have the warm tones on top and then the cool tones on the bottom in this little like pull-out tray. I did use the cool tones today. I used the shade Set Free, which is like navy. I used the shade Moonlight. And then I use the shade New Horizon for matte. And then I use the shade My Command and Life Changing. Life Changing, My Command. They both have kind of like a blue shift. I just did a little halo eye action. Those were all the shades that I used from that palette. And then I also used the Blend Bunny Blends palette. I used for the teals on my lower lash line the shade Surrender, or I lied, it's not Surrender. Where did I get that from? I lied. It's called Submerged. I apologize for that. These are probably like 3 of my favorite teals ever. I did use Submerged and then I blended it out with Bubble Bath, which is so. Why did I just want? Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I love the way this came out. I love these teals. I love the way this looks together. I'm super happy with the way it came out, and I haven't done a halo eye in quite some time, so I was kind of feeling it. As far as the eyeliner on my waterline is the shade Orchid from Elli Beauty. It's this beautiful purple shade. And then for my tight line, I just did the NYX Vivid Rich mechanical liner. It is the shade Always Onyx, which is just the black option for that. And then I used the Maybelline The Falsies Surreal mascara, which I actually really like this mascara. I like Maybelline mascara. And I got interrupted by an alarm. I'm so sorry. But lastly, I was on literally the last thing. It couldn't wait. Is the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Shift. This is the shade Blueberry, so it is the blue one. That's why I chose it, because this was giving like blueberry vibes. But it is like one of those PHE shift ones, and I love the color that this shifts to, because it shifts to almost like a mauvey pinky, almost purpley like color on me. So, and it is a little pumping, so it's a little tingly, not like anything crazy though. Like it doesn't hurt. It just feels like a little tingle. But this is the look for day number 2 and all of the products that I used. Stay tuned for day 3. Hi guys, welcome back. This is day 3. I have my fun little bucket full of goodies. This was the look that I did today. Don't judge it too harshly, because it's been on for almost like 12 hours, 10, 11 hours ish at this point. So like I said, don't judge it too harshly. So I used the Glamlay Cosmetics. Oh, I should go in order, shouldn't I? Okay, so for my primer, I used the Hello Sunshine. I almost wanted to call it Hello Fresh. This is not an ad. This is the Fourth Array Beauty Hello Sunshine Priming Moisturizer. As far as foundation, I use the About Face, the Performer Skin Focus Foundation. I have been loving this recently. And mine is the shade L2 Neutral. So, been loving that. I did use the same 2 concealers as I have been using the past couple days. They're basically my go-to. I don't switch it up too often, but I of course would let you know if I did. For liquid bronzer, I used the Cheek of It. This is the shade Cocoa Cakes. I was really scared to use this shade for the longest time, because it's a lot darker than my other one, but it's really just that it's kind of like a cooler tone, where my other one that I use like, or was using frequently, is more warm tone, and I feel like this is actually a really good contour shade. So I'm glad that I started using this or tried it out, because I actually really like it. For liquid blush, I have the e.l.f. Camo liquid blush. This is the shade Peach Perfect. It's so light. Like, this is not a blush shade that I ever thought I would look for, but I actually really love it, because I pair it with my MAC Warm Soul. It's the mineralized blush, and I don't know if you can see, yeah, you definitely can see that it has like a shimmer to it. Well, this shade also has like a shimmer to it. I don't know if you can tell, but they're literally like the perfect duo, and I love them together. All right, next we're on to powder products. This is the Primer Infused Blush by e.l.f. in the shade Forever Sunkissed, but I use this as my bronzer, and I actually really love it. So, and I'm trying to pan it, so that's what I've been using. And then my Elli Beauty Baked Translucent Setting Powder, I've been also using that every single day. For highlighter, I used the Rick and Morty highlighter trio from Glamlay, and I used the shade Uncharted, which is literally insane. Like, look at how crazy shifty. It's so glittery. I was like super impressed and shocked by it, and I felt like it worked perfectly with my look. All right, for brows, I use my Elli Beauty 3-in-1 Brow Enhancer. I love it. It has like a thin, like pencil type. It's almost like a gel though. And then this down here is like a super little tiny, like, I wouldn't even know what to call it, a brow gel, I guess. I don't know, but I absolutely love it. I'm still working on learning how to do my brows. This is the shade medium, but I've been working on it and I feel like I'm getting a little better at it, so I'll take it. Um, Primer for my eyes, the Urban Decay Primer Potion. That's a go-to. This one was gifted to me, so I will say that. And then now, like, really into the eyes. Okay, so I used the shade, the Glamlight Scooby-Doo Rutro Raggy palette. I used this blue shade and this navy shade, and then I also used this shade as um, the back like portion of my lid. I actually super love this shade. It is like shifty, which I didn't even realize until I saw it myself like in the mirror today at work, which I was like, oh my gosh, it really actually does shift to like a purple. It's so pretty. And the darker shades in the companion, like the Creeps and Crawls Scooby-Doo palette, the darker shades on me creased, but it also could have been the primer that I used. I used a different primer that day, but I've never had a problem otherwise, and this one didn't crease at all either. As far as some shades from the Blend Bunny Blends palette, I did use the shade Dream to help blend out that bright blue, and then I used the shade Cream and Sugar to also blend out, and to I put the white in my inner corner as well. Love that palette. And then this, I didn't have any like lighter um, shimmers that would work in, well, obviously not in the blends, but in the Raggy palette, because the lightest one is like a lime green, and I was really going for blue. So I used the shade Morning Glory, which is so freaking pretty, and that's what's on my innermost lid. And I love it. I think it looks so good. I think it came out super good. Like I said, don't judge this look too hard because it has been on for very many hours. And then as far as my eyeliners, I used 3 different ones, all from Elli Beauty. I used the waterproof liquid liner pen in the shade Onyx, which is black. For my waterline, I used the waterproof gel eyeliner in the shade Sky, which is blue. This is like my favorite waterline color. Love this stuff. And then which I should just be panning this because it's so tiny and I used it almost every day. This is also the waterproof gel eyeliner in the shade Raven, which is black. As far as mascara goes, I have been using the Maybelline, the Falsies Surreal mascara. This is not even black. It's like brownish black, but it's way too late to try and return it, and I've already been using it. So I'm just going to roll with it and use it. But you can't even really tell that it's not like black unless you like look up really close. So just nobody do that. All right, and then on my lips, it's gone now, but I had it on my lips this morning and I used it, is the Elli Beauty Nourishing Lip Oil in the shade Cold Brew. I love this. It smells like coffee. It's amazing, and I'm trying to pan it. So we'll pan it, use it, whatever you want to call it. And then same thing goes for the setting spray I used. It's the Moisturizing setting spray from Elli Beauty. Also trying to use this up as well. I love the smell of this one. I just had to throw that in there. And it's really great. So that was day 3, everything I used. So stay tuned for day 4. Hi guys. All right, this is the look and diary entry for day number 4. I did something a little different today, and I do have my whole little bucket of goodies, so let's get into it. Okay, so what I did differently today is I kind of did like a lazy face makeup, like base. Um, but I'm not hating how it's looking. Sorry, I'm looking at my mirror behind my setup, but like I don't hate how it looks. Don't mind my hair and outfit and all that. I worked from home today, so this is as good as it's getting. But so let's start it off. I did use the e.l.f. Friends on Dunkin, the putty primer. Donut Forget primer is the one I used. I did use my Ulta. It's a moisturizing foundation stick. I like this a lot, but mine is definitely a shade too light. So this is why I wanted to try what I tried. So what I did was I used this and I didn't use any other cream products besides my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Concealer in the pink. It's just like to brighten. So I did use that. But I used this Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten Color Correcting Foundation. So this is the shade Fair, but every time I've ever tried to use this, it has looked way too dark on me. So what I did was I put this down, which was very light for me, and then I put this on top of it to like set it, and it kind of worked. I think it worked. I mean, it worked enough for me, but I didn't use any other cream products. So it was kind of like lazy for me because I'm used to using a whole bunch of cream products. I also used the Elli Beauty Brighten Pressed Powder. It's like a pink powder. I used the Elli Beauty Sculpt Palette in the shade Light as my bronzer. I used these two shades, the more cool tone shades. As far as a blush, I used the Glamlite Scooby-Doo Blush Duo. I used this bright pink. This is one dip of the brush into, okay, on each side. So I dipped once and then put on like this side and blended it out. And like that's all I used was just one dip of the brush for each side. It's super crazy pigmented, like crazy pigmented. As far as highlighter, it's very subtle, but I love it. It is the shade Bubblegum from Silk Naturals. They have like this little collection called like the Sweet Tooth highlighters, and they're all like pastel rainbow shades, and I absolutely am obsessed with them. All right, moving on to eyes. There is a lot going on here, so let's get right into it. We have the Elli Beauty Anniversary First Edition palette. So for my mattes, I used Bestie, Hustle, and Bubs. And then for the shimmer, I used Squad, which is in like the back half of my lid with that like blue shift. And then for the front half of my lid, it's this shade right here. The shade is called Girly Pop. It's a single from Elli Beauty, but the shift is like green, which I wasn't totally expecting, but I love the way it looks, so I am not mad at it. And then for my inner corner, I used the shade Promise. Hold on. I was holding that awkwardly. I used this shade right here, Promise. I mean, I'm working on some pans here, so, you know, had to try and use some of that. I did use my Urban Decay Primer Potion for my primer for my eyes. Forgot to mention that. I used my Elli Beauty Waterproof Liquid Liner Pen in the shade Onyx. It's black. And then for my waterline, I used the Kaleidos. These are like the duochrome. This is the shade Night of Creation. It's a duochrome like liner. I don't know if you can see it shifting at all, but it's super pretty. It is showing up as like a dark purple right now, which I am not mad about. I enjoy it. And then I use the Huda Beauty One Coat Wow Mascara. This was gifted to me, as was the Urban Decay Potion Primer. Just have to be clear about that. All right, and last but not least, I have the Blend Bunny Lip Oil, the Bare But There. This is the shade Baby Girl. I love this. It's almost like neon in the tube, but I love the way it looks. It just gives that like little hint of pink, and I love it. And I think this look came out super cute. Like I said, this was day 4. Got a couple more days to go. I forgot to mention I tightlined my top lash line. I like lost it because it was so tiny. This is the Elli Beauty waterproof gel eyeliner in the shade Raven, which is black. All right, guys, we're here for day and look number 5. It's been a couple days. Not gonna lie, I haven't done makeup, or I haven't wanted to do like face makeup, like a full face of makeup, so I've taken a couple days. So I have my little bucket and we are ready to get into it. All right, as per usual, starting off with face. I have to say I am trying to perfect like a lazy, like easy, like not a ton of product, like face makeup or like base, so that I can do it a little bit quicker in the morning. But I'm still planning on using like the rest of my products. I just am also trying to find like an easier version of it for myself. With that being said, I didn't actually put any primer on today, and I did use all powder products for my base. Overall, it was definitely easy, and I do feel like it looks fine. Like it looks like something I would wear out of the house. If you disagree, you can let me know. But I used the oh my goodness, Sephora. I couldn't speak there. My brain just like, I don't know what just happened. It's the Sephora matte powder foundation. I feel like it's called something else, like Best Skin Ever or something like that, matte powder foundation. It doesn't say it on here though. This is the shade 10.5Y. It is the lightest shade that they had available when I picked it. This was actually gifted through Skeepers and Sephora. So this was the lightest shade available. I think it works fairly well. If I put a little too much on, it definitely looks a little yellow for me. I did also use the Elli Beauty Brighten like pink press powder. I use this really just in my under eyes. Everywhere I would have used concealer, because I didn't actually use concealer. Not mad about it. I used this palette, it's a Dream a Little Dream. It's the shade is Believe, for my powder bronzer, for my blush, and I used both highlighters. I do love this little palette. I wish the blush was a tiny bit deeper. It is a little light. I did have to go in with the MAC Mineralized Blush in Warm Soul, which seems to be like almost the same shade, but this has like a little bit of shine to it. It has like a shimmery quality to it. So it definitely shows up a little more because of that. So I just kind of layered those on top, and then I did layer both of the highlighters on, and I think it came out pretty cute. As far as brows, I just threw a little bit of my Benefit Gimme Brow. This is the shade 4. It's like a brow mascara type thing where I think it has like fibers. If you can't tell, mine is like all rubbed off the label. So, whoops. Apparently I used it a little too aggressively. I'm not really sure how that even happens. All right, on to the eyes. I used the Book of Spells Hocus Pocus Regain Focus palette from P. Louise. I did stick to this back section here. Oh, try not to blind you with that mirror. I used, not my alarm going off in the middle of that, so sorry. I used the shade The Void in my crease. I used the shade, what does it say? The Living Dead in my outer corner. I use the shade Necromancy in the like middle of my lid, and then the shade Spooky Season, which is really the shade that I wanted to use from the get-go. It's literally like a coral gold shift. It is freaking stunning. Those are the shades I used out of that. And then as far as blending shades, I did use, oh, I lied. I also used an orange in there, 2 oranges in there. I apologize. I also used Creepy Crawly and Eye of Newt. So Eye of Newt for my under eye right here, and then Creepy Crawly to blend part of that out. And then from my blends palette, I used First Kiss, which I'm starting to get a little dent in there. First Kiss to blend out everything, like top and bottom. And then I also used Sunsets on my inner corner, that little bit of like light pink. I think that's actually all I used in here. It is. Okay, moving on to eyeliners. I used the Elli Beauty Waterproof Liquid Liner Pen in the shade Onyx, it's just black, and then the Elli Beauty Waterproof Gel Liner in the shade Raven, which is also black. Obviously, if you can't tell, I'm trying to use the rest of this. It is like my favorite. I use it as often as possible. And then I have the Urban Decay Primer Potion is what I probably should have said that I used first. Under everything, obviously. This was gifted to me. And then I used for mascara, I went back. I didn't use this in a while. I used it a couple times, wasn't feeling it. And then I used it again today, and I actually really love it. And it's the Fenty Hella Thick Volumizing Mascara. So I'm not sure why I didn't like it at first. I do say all the time, though, that I don't love brand new mascara. There's something about when it's dried out just a tiny bit that I feel like it's more easily manipulated. Like I can do more with it. When it's brand new, it's like clumpier and like wetter. I don't know. In my brain, it makes sense. But I do actually love the way it looks today, so I'm not mad about it. And then as far as lips, I have the Huda Beauty Liquid Matte Lip. This is the shade Icon. This was also gifted to me. And I actually really love the shade, and I love the shade with this look. It's kind of giving like monochromatic, but I'm definitely not mad at how it looks together. But that was my look for day 5. Stay tuned. We only have 2 days left. Hi guys, we are back for day 6 of my diary entries. I have to do this one super fast. I'm doing this before work because I'm not going to have time to do it after work, or it would be at like 10-11 p.m. and I'm just not going to remember. So I have to go through this super fast because I'm already running late. So with that being said, primer was Fourth Ray Beauty Hello Sunshine Priming Moisturizer. Foundation was the About Face The Performer Skin Focus Foundation in the shade L2 Neutral. We have the same 2 concealers that I've been using, the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser 160, it's the pink, and then the Fenty Pro Filter concealer in 170. I have the P. Louise, the cheek of it. I just questioned myself. The cheek of it. This is the shade Cocoa Cakes for cream bronzer. And then I have the, oh, what would it be if I wasn't just dropping things? The Rare Beauty Liquid Blush in the shade Encourage. All right, on to powder products. The e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in the shade Forever Sunkissed. For my highlight, I have the Lux B Aesthetics highlighter in Fairy Ring. It's amazing. I'm obsessed with it. The Elli Beauty Baked Translucent Setting Powder. For blush, I use the Blend Bunny Bare Cheeks palette. I use the shade right here called Love Me. It's like a purpley mauve, but it showed up like almost pinky on me. Either way, love it. I used Elli Beauty 3-in-1 Brow Enhancer for my brows. Moving on to eyes, Milani Eyeshadow Primer. For the eyeshadow look, I used the Odenzai Flora Story palette. I used the shade Orchid in the outer corner. I used the shade Azalea to blend it out. I used the shade Magnolia on the back half of my lid and the shade Dawn in the front half. It's super pretty, almost like a pinky shift to it. And then for under eye, I used Sage and Clover for eyeshadows. And then in my waterline, I used the Kaleidos. It's such a small writing on here. Epiphany Glow Melt Gel Eyeliner in Night of Creation. It's their like duochrome shifty, and like it's very much like a blue shift, blue purple shift, and I could have definitely used the other one I have, which is Limelight, which is like a green shift, but I just wanted a pop of something fun. So that's what I did. And then the NYX Vivid Rich mechanical liner in my waterline. I have the Kaja Beauty. This is the, so this came with a wing stamp. I didn't use the stamp part. I just used the liner part. This was gifted to me. And then for mascara, I used the Maybelline, the Falsies Surreal mascara. I think that's it. Oh, I lied. And then for lips is the Blend Bunny Juice. What is it called? Bring the Juice? Yes, Bring the Juice lip oil. This is the shade Ripe. So this is the final look. Like I said, I'm going to actually spray myself with the Elli Beauty Moisturizing Setting Spray. And that is going to be the final look. So I gotta go. I'm running really late, and let me know what you think. Hi guys. All right, this is day 7 and the final day, final diary entry. This is my first one, so I am a little nervous about having to edit all these, but hopefully it will come to you sooner rather than later. But I do have to do this really fast again because I am running late for work. I do have my little bucket. I didn't even show my bucket yesterday. I don't know what was going on with me. I was also in a rush. I'm not gonna lie, I did a rather lazy, quote unquote, makeup, like face makeup, because I was trying to do something fast because I was running late. So overall, I don't think it looks bad. So I'll take that. But as far as what I used, let's get into it. All right, so I just used my Hello Sunshine Priming Moisturizer from 4th Ray Beauty. I used the Brighten Pink Press Powder from Elli Beauty underneath my foundation because I knew I was just planning on using like powder products today. I did use this Sephora. It's the Best Skin Ever Matte Powder Foundation, I think is the actual name. I always just call it their matte powder foundation. This is a shade 10.5Y. And I used the Elli Beauty Sculpt palette for bronzer. This is the shade Light in this palette, and I used these two shades here, the two like cooler tone shades. For blush, I used the MAC Mineralize blush in the shade Happy Go Rosy. This is one of my favorite blushes. I was about to say brushes. One of my favorite blushes. This was actually gifted to me, as was the Sephora foundation. I forgot to mention that. So sorry. Highlighter is the Ofra Rodeo Drive. I'm trying to pan this, and I know it's going to take me freaking forever, but like, look at that little, sorry, it's dirty. But like, do you see that like dip back there? That's what I'm trying to work through. It's not going very well so far. It's definitely taking a very, very, very long time to get through that, which I knew it would, but whatever. I used the NYX Thick It Stick It in the shade Brunette for my eyebrows. I was just trying to do something really fast, and they look okay. I'm not mad. The Urban Decay Primer Potion for eyes. This was also gifted. As far as the eye look goes, I did a shadow wing. Not a fan of really how the eye look came out, but every time I do a shadow wing, I don't like it. So I don't know why I keep doing them. I should just avoid it. So the actual wing is the shade Let's Get Freaky right here. And then I blended it out with this shade right here called Sixth Sense. And then Don't Ghost Me, which is actually freaking stunning. I'm obsessed. Is the shimmer that's on my lid. And then I used my Blend Bunny Blends palette to blend everything out. The shade Promise, which is right there. And then I put the shade, oh my gosh, Sunsets. I can't believe I forgot that. The shade Sunsets in my inner corner. And then I tight lined with my Elli Beauty Waterproof Gel Eyeliner in the shade Raven. I did add a little bit of the Kaja wing eyeliner pen, like right on my lash line pretty much, because I was doing my mascara and I always wind up getting like mascara right on my lid. So I just put a little liner there so that it would hide that. And then the Maybelline Falsies Surreal mascara. I like this mascara. I've been using it kind of often, just like testing it out, and I actually do really like it. And then as far as lips, this is the Milani Fruit Fetish. I was saying lip fetish. Fruit Fetish lip oil. This is the shade Raspberry Peach. I actually really love the Milani lip oils. I have like 4 or 5 of them at this point. I think 4. But this is the final look. So let me know if you like this style video, because this was a lot to do and keep track of, but it was also super fun. I don't talk about my looks that I do for like TikTok and elsewhere on YouTube really. So YouTube really only gets to see like the looks I do for YouTube, and I would really like to incorporate all of the makeup I'm doing. So this is like a really fun way for me to do that. So please let me know if you like these kind of videos or not, because they're going to be a lot to keep up with if nobody likes them or watches them. I will probably still do it though. Knowing myself, if there's something that I like to do and I like the way it like works, I'm gonna probably do it either way. Like I keep posting random palette bingos and I feel like I don't get a ton of views on them, but I love them so much and they're so fun for me to use like my palettes and stuff again, that I just keep going with it. So please, I would love your feedback. If you've made it this far into the video, which is pretty long, please like this video, subscribe. I would love for you to follow along on my makeup journey here on TikTok, on Instagram. It's Mermaid Hair, Do Not Care on all 3 platforms. So yeah, follow along if you enjoyed this. And let me know what your favorite look was if you've made it this far. I would love to know. Day 1 through 7, what's your favorite look? But as far as that, I mean, like I said, always, there's so much makeup in my collection. I have a ridiculous amount to get through and to try and test and play with, that there's literally always more. So come back